It begins on a road that is almost the color of moonlight. You have been walking for a little while, or perhaps it only feels that way because the road is easy beneath your feet. It is wide, soft-edged, and pale, with cloud mist resting along both sides like folded wool. There is no cliff, no narrow edge, nothing that asks you to be careful in a sharp way. The road simply holds you, broad and quiet. Curving through the blue of the late night, a lantern glows ahead, then another, then another. Each one warm and low, set on short posts that disappear gently into the mist. Their amber light does not push the night away. It simply gives the night a kind center, a place for the eyes to rest. Far below, rain may be passing on a sleeping valley, but up here it is only a hush, softened by distance. The clouds move so slowly they seem to be breathing. The air is cool on your face and dry around your shoulders, as if the mist knows how to stay near without clinging. Ahead, where the road bends, a small inn waits above the clouds. Its windows are warm. Its roof is dark against the moonlit sky. A few lanterns float near the porch, not as signals or messages, just quiet lights keeping company with the stars. You do not need to hurry toward it. The inn will still be there. The road is kind beneath you. The lanterns are steady, and the day behind you has grown too far away to ask for anything more. The last bend in the road is marked by 3 lanterns, hanging from a bent wooden arch. The arch is old, but not weathered in a lonely way. It has the smoothness of something touched often by mist, lamplight, and careful hands. The lanterns beneath it are enclosed in cloudy glass, each flame small and calm, each one making a little circle of amber in the blue air. Beneath them, the inn comes fully into view. It is smaller than a hotel and warmer than a house seen from far away. Its walls are pale stone and dark timber, softened by the damp shine of cloudlight. The roof slopes low, with little dormer windows tucked beneath it. In every window a lamp is turned down to the same gentle brightness, as if the whole building has agreed on one quiet mood for the night. The road widens into a landing of smooth boards and cloudstone. Along the edge are planters full of silver leaves that hardly move. A carved bench waits beneath the eaves. A folded blanket lies over one arm of the bench, dry and ready, its edge held neatly in place by a smooth, round stone. There is a sign above the porch, but the letters are softened by mist and lamplight. You do not need to read it. The inn has already told you what it is. Warm, still, and prepared, a small lantern drifts past the porch rail. It rises no higher than the window boxes, then settles back into the mist. Nothing calls out, nothing startles. Only the porch light, the bench, the folded blanket, the bench, and the quiet door waiting ahead. The porch boards are dry beneath your feet. That is the first small kindness of the inn. The mist gathers around the rail and along the steps, but it does not cross the threshold. Under the eaves, the air is warmer, touched by wood, lamp oil, clean wool, and the faint sweetness of something like honey kept in a cupboard. The door is painted a deep muted green and almost black in the low light. Its handle is brass, worn smooth at the center. Beside it hangs a lantern with glass, the color of weak tea, glowing softly enough that the wood grain around it remains visible. The flame inside is steady and enclosed, safe behind its pane. On a small table by the door, a tray has been set out with ordinary thoughtful things. A folded cloth for damp hands, a pair of soft slippers, a small ceramic cup turned upside down, and a narrow vase holding one pale sprig of cloud grass. The objects are not arranged for the display. They are just where they would be useful. The porch creaks once, quietly, as old wood sometimes does when the night cools. It is not a strange sound, just the inn settling around its own warmth. You may pause here as long as you like. Behind you, the cloud road curves away through lanterns. Before you, the green door rests in its frame, not locked, not heavy, closed just enough to keep the warmth inside. When you touch the handle, it has already gathered the mild heat of the rooms beyond. The door opens easily. A line of amber light falls across the porch, and the mist outside becomes even softer. Inside, the entry hall is narrow and calm. It does not feel like a place for arrivals and departures. It feels like a place where travel has already become smaller. The floor is covered by a runner woven in blue, grey, and muted green. The walls are panelled in warm wood up to shoulder height, and above the panels, small windows hold the colour of the clouds outside. A row of hooks waits beside the door. No coats hang there now, but each hook has a rounded wooden end, smooth and harmless in the lamplight. Beneath them is a bench with a cushion, the colour of oatmeal. Under the bench are more slippers, paired neatly, toes facing outward. You can leave the road here, not dramatically, not with any ceremony, just by taking off whatever belongs to the outside and letting the inn hold it for a while. The air smells faintly of cedar drawers, clean linen, and the steam of an herbal cup somewhere deeper inside. A small bell sits on the desk at the end of the hall, but there is no need to ring it. Its brass dome catches the lamplight and stays silent. Behind the desk, shelves hold folded towels, spare lantern glass, rolled napkins, and little clay jars with cork lids. Everything has a place. Everything seems to have been set down softly. No one asks your name. No one hurries from another room. The inn welcomes by preparation. The lowered lamp, the waiting slippers, the warm runner, the silent bell, the way the door closes behind you. With a small wooden sound, leaving the cloud road safely outside. The entry hall opens into a lobby that is almost square. It has a low ceiling with dark beams and warm plaster between them. At the center is a round rug, soft underfoot, patterned with simple rings, that make the room feel gathered around itself. 4 chairs sit near the hearth, though the hearth holds only a safe bed of warm stones and a lamp behind amber glass. It gives the comfort of fire without sparks, smoke, or heat, asking for attention. On the back of each chair is a folded blanket. One is blue-grey, one is cream, one is green like moss in shade. One has a thin amber stripe at the edge. They are folded in the same unhurried way. Not perfect, only cared for. A long window looks out over the clouds. From inside, the cloud road is mostly hidden, and the lanterns outside have become soft round lights, moving a little whenever the mist passes. The world beyond the glass is large. The room makes it gentle. You may sit in the chair nearest the window. The cushion gives a little. The blanket rests over the chair back within easy reach. On a small table beside you is a cup with a lid, and beneath the lid waits a mild bedtime tea, warm but not sharp, fragrant but not strong. You do not need the exact herb. It can remain warm leaves in water. Across the lobby, a staircase rises only a few steps before turning out of sight. A hallway leads deeper into the inn, but for now, the lobby is enough. A chair, a blanket, a window, a cup of warmth. Clouds beyond the glass, and the inn holding its quiet around you. The tea is pale gold. When you lift the lid, a small breath of steam rises and fades before it reaches your face. The cup is ceramic, slightly uneven in the hand, glazed in a soft blue that looks almost grey by lamplight. It has no pattern except one tiny line near the rim, where the glaze grew thinner in the kiln. You hold it with both hands. The warmth settles into your palms first, then into your wrists, then gradually into the quieter parts of the body that have been carrying the day without needing to name it. The taste, if you take a sip, is mild. A little leaf, a little honey, a little warmth. Nothing bright enough to wake anything. Outside the window, clouds move under the inn as slowly as milk stirred into tea. Sometimes they part enough to show a darker valley far below, but only for a moment, and only as a soft depth, never as a sharp edge or a worry. Then the mist folds over it again. A lantern passes beyond the glass. It is round, enclosed, and steady, drifting at the height of the window ledge. Its reflection joins the reflection of your cup. So, there seem to be two warm circles, one in the room and one in the mist. You do not have to think about where the lantern is going. It may be going nowhere. It may just be part of the inn's weather. The chair supports you. The blanket waits behind your shoulders. The tea cools at a kind pace, and the clouds continue their slow, quiet movement below the warm window. When you are ready, the hallway beyond the lobby receives you gently. It is long enough to feel like a gentle walk, but not so long that it becomes a question. Lamps are placed low along the wall, each one shaded in warm amber fabric. Between them are doors painted in quiet colors: grey-blue, soft green, deep cream, weathered brown. Some doors are closed. Some are open just a little, enough to show that the rooms beyond are peaceful and already prepared. There is no strange room here, no hidden matter to solve. Only rooms resting in their own small ways. In one, a bed is turned down beneath a round window. A quilt lies folded back, and a lantern glows on a low table. In another, a writing desk faces the clouds, though the paper on it is blank, and the pencil is laid down for the night. In a third, two narrow beds stand under sloped eaves, each with a folded towel and a small blue cup beside it. You pass each doorway slowly. The hallway runner softens every step. The wood paneling gives back a little warmth. Somewhere ahead, the building makes a low settling sound, the way a well-kept house does when it is not empty, not busy, only awake enough to care for itself. The lamps repeat: door, lamp, blanket, window, cup, curtain. The pattern is simple enough for the mind to loosen. You do not have to choose a room yet. The inn is showing you, quietly, that sleep has many safe places here, and one of them will be yours. One room along the hall has blue curtains, moving almost not at all. The door is open just enough for you to see inside. The room is small and clean, with a low bed pushed beneath the window and a woven mat beside it. The curtains are the color of cloud shadow before dawn, and they hang from a simple wooden rod. A lantern on the table beside the bed is turned down until its light is no larger than a warm fruit. The bed is not meant to be yours tonight, perhaps, but it is comforting to see. A room can be restful, even when you are only passing by. On the chair near the foot of the bed, a robe is folded over itself, with the sleeves tucked inward. On the floor are slippers lined with soft wool. A small pitcher of water sits on a tray, with a cup upside down beside it. The room holds no story that needs attention, only a picture of readiness. The window is slightly open, but the air that enters is gentle and dry. It carries the faint scent of cloud mist, rain far below, and the wooden porch somewhere behind you. You remain at the threshold. You do not intrude. You take in the lowered lamp, the blue curtains, the quiet bed, and the feeling that every room in this inn is allowed to be simple. Then you continue down the hallway. The door stays as it was. The curtains move a little. The lantern keeps its small amber shape, and the room returns to waiting, kindly, and without impatience, for whoever may need it in another dream. At the bend, in the hallway, a linen cupboard stands open. It is built into the wall, with two lower drawers, and 3 shelves above. The wood has been polished by years of quiet use. Inside, everything is folded in soft stacks. Towels, pillowcases, little quilts, spare blankets, cloths for tea trays, and narrow runners for bedside tables. The colors are muted and easy on the eyes. Cream, mist gray, blue, like a cloud before morning, green like leaves seen through rain. A single amber ribbon is tied around one stack of pillowcases, not exactly for decoration, but to keep them together. The ribbon is loose enough to look sleepy. A sachet of dried lavender lies in a shallow dish on the middle shelf. Its scent is there only if you notice it. It does not fill the air. It simply waits there, small and clean, among the folded linen. You may touch the edge of one towel. It is thick, soft, and completely dry. That detail matters in a place above clouds. The world outside may be mist and blue distance, but the cupboard holds dryness, warmth, and order. It is a quiet promise made in cloth. Nothing in the cupboard is precious, is useful. That is part of the piece. The shelves do not ask to be admired. They only say, in their wordless way, that if you need another blanket, it is here. If you need a towel, it is here. If morning comes slowly, and cloudlight gathers at the window, there will be clean linen for that too. You close the cupboard halfway, leaving the shelves breathing in the low hall light. Beyond the hallway, the inn opens into a tea room shaped like a half circle. Its windows follow the curve of the wall, looking out over a slow valley of cloud. The ceiling is low, near the entrance, and higher near the glass, where rafters meet in a gentle fan. Small round tables are placed far apart, each with one lamp, one folded cloth, and one empty chair pulled slightly back, as if the room expects no conversation louder than a breath. On the counter, a kettle rests in a safe blue warmer. Nearby are jars of quiet things: dried apple, chamomile, mint, lemon balm, tiny cubes of pale honey. You do not need a recipe. The tea room never becomes a lesson. It is enough to know that warmth can be made here, slowly, cup by cup, whenever the night asks for it. You choose the table closest to the window. Outside, cloud mist presses softly against the glass, then thins, then gathers again. A line of lanterns drifts far below the windows, like a little path reflected in water. Perhaps they follow the same road you walked in on. Perhaps there are other roads, other porches, other sleeping places above the clouds. The thought is pleasant and easy to let go. The chair is plain and comfortable. The table is smooth. The lamp has a shade of woven grass that turns the light warm and drowsy. You rest your hands around another cup, or imagine doing so, and let the tea room hold a pause in the middle of the inn, mist outside. Warmth inside, a curved wall of windows between them. The tea room has deep window seats, built below the glass. Each one is wide enough to curl into, with a cushion beaten covered in soft muted fabric and 2 pillows pressed into the corners. The wood around the window seats is darker than the walls, rubbed smooth at the edges by many quiet evenings. A narrow shelf runs along the glass, holding small lanterns whose flames are low and enclosed. You move from the table to one of the seats. The cushion accepts your weight slowly. The window is cool near your shoulder, but not cold. Between you and the night is thick old glass, faintly rippled, so the clouds outside look painterly and dreamlike. They pass in layers. Silver close to the window, blue farther away, deep indigo where the sky gathers behind them. Somewhere below, rain continues in the lower world. Here, it arrives as texture, not drops on the roof, not weather that needs anything from you. Only a far hush beneath the clouds, a sound so softened by distance that it seems to belong more to memory than to the air. A lantern outside drifts slowly upward until it is level with the window seat. Its glow touches the glass, becomes a blurred circle, and then lowers again, as if remembering how pleasant it is to move slowly. Your cup rests on the shelf. The lamp rests beside it. The pillows hold their quiet corners. The cloudlight does not change quickly. You may look out for a while, or let your eyes unfocus until the lanterns and clouds and reflections all become one gentle field of blue and amber. A side door from the tea room leads to a balcony. The balcony is broad, level, and sheltered by a curved roof. Its railing is high and smooth, made of dark wood with a rounded top. The floor is covered by woven mats that are dry beneath your feet. There is no wind here, only mild moving air and the blue breath of clouds. A blanket waits on a peg by the door. You may take it around your shoulders before stepping out. The inn remains warm behind you, its windows glowing along the wall. Ahead, lanterns drift in the mist, not many, not in a pattern that needs reading, just enough to make the night feel gently inhabited. Some lanterns are small and round. Some are longer, with soft corners. Some are so far away. They look like amber seeds floating in a blue field. The railing is steady under your hand. The clouds below are not empty. They are thick and luminous, gathered like snow that learn to float. Their surface rises and lowers in long, slow folds, far beneath the balcony, but visually soft, with no sharp depth from anyone. You sharp depth to measure. You stand there with nothing to decide. The lanterns move, the clouds move. The inn breathes warmth behind you. A little lamp by the balcony door glows at knee height, showing the mat, the threshold, and the safe way back inside. After a while, one lantern passes closely, enough that its glass shows a faint pattern of leaves. Then it drifts on, without meaning, without message, carrying a small warm light through the mist. The nearest lantern moves as slowly as a thought becoming gentle. It does not approach with purpose. It follows the mild current of the air, until it is near the balcony. It is near the balcony, close enough for you to see the texture of its cloudy glass. The frame is thin wood, pale at the edges, warm where the light touches it. Inside, the enclosed glow is steady and small, no brighter than a bedside lamp turned low. There are pressed leaves in the glass. Not words, not symbols. Only leaves flattened into soft shapes, their stems curving in the amber light. One leaf looks like a tiny hand. Another is long and narrow, like a blade of grass. Another is almost round. They overlap without having to mean anything. The lantern pauses near the railing. Below it, the clouds gather and loosen. Beyond it, the other lanterns drift in wider circles, each one making its own small warmth. In the blue, the inn's windows reflect in the lantern glass, so for a moment, the tiny light seems to contain the tea room, the lobby, the hallway, and all the prepared rooms you passed. You breathe in the cool balcony air. You breathe out into the mist. The lantern begins to move again. No one sends it away. No one sends it away. No one calls it back. It continues, carrying its little pressed leaves through the cloudlight. Soon it is one more warm point among the others, then near, then farther, bright, then softer, a small calm thing returning to the larger quiet. Back inside, the tea room feels even warmer. The balcony door closes with a soft brush of wood against wood. The blanket around your shoulders holds the outdoor coolness for a moment, then slowly takes on the room's amber warmth. Your cup still waits on the window shelf. The lamp beside it has not changed. The curved windows still look out over the mist, but now they feel more like a painting than a place to go. The inn does not hurry you onward. It has never hurried you. Still, the rooms deeper inside have begun to feel quieter, as if the building is gently guiding itself toward sleep. The tea room lamps are lower than before. The jars on the counter have become simple shapes. The kettle is silent. The empty tables rest in their own small circles of light. You leave the cup on a tray near the door. Of course, there is a place for it. The tray is lined with a folded cloth. Beside it are 2 clean cups turned upside down, and a small spoon laid carefully across a saucer. Even finished, things have a gentle place here. The hallway beyond the tea room. The hallway beyond the tea room bends toward the back of the inn. It is narrower than the first hallway and softer underfoot. The lamps are farther apart. Between them, little alcoves hold quiet objects. A rolled mat, a basket of slippers, a stack of folded robes, a lantern with spare cloudy glass beside it. You follow the hallway slowly. Behind you, the tea room returns to its windows and mist. Ahead, the inn grows, more inward, more wooden, more hushed, as if each step lays another folded blanket over the day. At the end of the back hallway is a stair that rises toward the attic. It is not steep. The steps are shallow, broad, and covered in a runner, the color of deep moss. The railing is thick and rounded, easy beneath the hand. Above the first turn, a small window looks out into cloud mist, and a lantern outside that window floats by so slowly it seems almost still. You climb without effort, one step, another. The sound of the inn changes as you rise. The lobby becomes faint. The tea room becomes only a memory of warmth and curved glass. The balcony becomes a blue idea behind your shoulders. Here, near the roof, the quiet has a wooden texture. Beams, boards, folded cloth, the faint scent of cedar and old wool. At the landing, a low lamp rests on a bracket. Its shade is painted with tiny pale clouds, but the paint is softened by age, so the pattern is more feeling than detail. Beside, it is a little shelf with a bowl of smooth stones, each one round and cool, each one just heavy enough to hold down a note, a cloth, or a wandering thought. The stair turns once more, the ceiling lowers, the roof beams come closer. Nothing presses or crowds. The space only becomes smaller, in the way a blanket fort becomes smaller. Sheltered, close, made for quiet. At the top is a door left open. Behind it, the attic glows with low amber light and the soft, unmistakable promise of many blankets resting on many shelves. The attic is the softest room in the inn. It stretches under the roof in a long, gentle slope, with beams crossing overhead and small round windows set low in the walls. Shelves line both sides, and every shelf holds blankets. Wool blankets, cotton quilts, knitted throws, cloud grey coverlets, green folded rugs, cream sheets tied in loose bundles, blue pillowcases stacked like quiet water. The room does not feel stored away. It feels tended. A narrow path runs down the center, covered by a faded runner. Low lamps sit in little wall niches, far enough apart that the shadows remain soft. A cedar chest stands open near one window, showing extra pillows wrapped in clean cloth. On its lid rests a brush for smoothing wool and a small packet of lavender tied with thread. You do not need anything from the shelves. It is enough to stand among them. There is a special piece in useful softness saved for later. Every folded blanket suggests a night made warmer, a chair made kinder, a bed made ready, a traveler dried after mist. The attic is a reserve of comfort, kept above the inn, like a second roof. Outside one round window, the clouds are very close. Their blue light touches the nearest stack of quilts and turns the cream fabric almost silver. A lantern drifts past, reflected in the glass, and for a moment the shelves seem to hold both cloth and cloudlight. You walk slowly to the cedar chest. A green blanket lies on top, folded once. It is not heavy. It is not too warm. It is exactly enough for the quiet room farther down the hall. Near the far end of the attic, a smaller shelf, holds spare lantern glass. The pieces are arranged by shape rather than any strict order. Round panes in one shallow tray, longer curved panes in another, a few tiny square windows wrapped in cloth. Some glass is clear, some is honey-colored, some is faintly blue, like mist seen just before morning. A brush rests beside the trays. A soft cloth lies folded beneath it. This is where lanterns are cared for when their glass has grown cloudy with weather. Nothing here suggests hurried repair. It is only maintenance as a form of tenderness, wiping the pane, setting it back in place, keeping the small lights clear enough to comfort another traveler on another night. You lift none of the glass. You only look at the way it catches the attic lamps. Each pane holds a different softness. One reflects the beam overhead. One reflects the green blanket over your arm. One holds a warped little version of the round window and the clouds beyond it. The reflections are not exact, and that makes them easier to rest in. Below the shelf is a basket of spent wicks, cleanly trimmed and wrapped in paper. Beside it are new wicks in a small wooden box. The lanterns of this inn are steady because someone, sometime, prepared these simple things. Again, no one needs to appear. The care is visible enough. Cloth, brush, glass, wick, shelf, a quiet place for every small part of light. You leave the lantern shelf as it is and continue through the attic, carrying the green blanket folded over your arm. A low table stands beneath the attic's largest beam. On it is a simple map of the inn, drawn in soft lines on thick paper. It is not a puzzle, nothing you have to study. The rooms are shown as gentle shapes: porch, lobby, tea room, balcony, hall, attic, sleeping rooms. The cloud road is a pale curve at the edge. Little lantern marks float around the building, like warm dots. Most of the words are too small to read in the low light. That is all right. You already know the important parts by walking them. Your hand rests near the edge of the map, not on it. The paper is weighted by 4 smooth stones, one at each corner. A lamp with a green shade bends over the table, making a pool of quiet light. Beside the map is a dish of tiny brass tacks and a spool of thread, perhaps used to mend a shade, tie a bundle, or mark nothing important at all. The map that gives the pleasant feeling of being held inside a shape. There is the porch where the mist stayed, outside. There is the lobby with folded blankets. There is the tea room and the balcony of lanterns. There is the attic where comfort is stored under the roof. And somewhere below, not far now, is the room at the end of the hall. You do not need directions. The inn has become familiar enough. Still, it is restful to see the whole gentle route, reduced to lines, stones, dots of lantern light, and a soft green lamp keeping watch over the paper. You leave the attic by a second stair. This stair turns down through the inner side of the inn, where the walls are closer and the lamps are fewer. The green blanket rests over your arm. The railing guides your hand. The steps are shallow and familiar, though you have not walked them before. A good building can feel familiar quickly when it is made of gentle materials and has no sharp demands. At the bottom waits the last hall. It is quieter than the others. The lamps here are turned very low. The floor is covered by a thick runner that softens the sound of each step until walking feels almost like thinking. On one side are small windows looking into the cloudlight. On the other are doors to sleeping rooms, each one closed except the final door, which is open just enough to show an amber glow. There is nothing to decide. The inn has been moving toward that glow all along. You pass a small alcove with a chair and a basket of folded socks. You pass a shelf holding a pitcher of water and clean cups. You pass a window where a lantern outside hangs nearly still, its reflection trembling gently in the old glass. The final door is painted the same deep green as the front door, but smaller, softer, more private. Its handle is warm. The room beyond is already prepared. You pause on the threshold, not because anything is uncertain, but because quiet places are often best entered slowly. Behind you, the attic keeps its blankets, the balcony keeps its lanterns, the tea room keeps its curved windows. Ahead, the room keeps its low lamp and turned down bed. The room at the end of the hall is small, warm, and complete. A bed stands beneath a wide window, its sheets turned down, its pillows smooth, but not stiff. The quilt is cream with blue-gray stitching, and at the foot of the bed is a folded coverlet the color of moss. The green blanket from the attic belongs easily there, as if the room had been expecting that exact shade. On the bedside table is a lantern turned low behind cloudy glass. The light does not reach every corner. It does not need to. It warms the cup of water, the edge of the quilt, the little dish for small things, and the wooden floor beside the bed. The corners remain soft and blue. The window looks out not over a drop, but over a field of cloud so close and luminous that it feels almost like a second blanket spread outside the inn. A few lanterns drift beyond it, farther away now, their amber points softened by the glass. There are curtains on either side of the window. They are pale blue, thick enough to dim the cloudlight, but not so heavy that the room feels closed. One curtain has been drawn halfway, leaving a calm strip of night visible above the pillow. You set the green blanket at the foot of the bed. You may set down anything else as well. The last thought from the day, the need to remember, the habit of listening for what comes next. The room asks for none of that. It has a bed, it has a lamp, it has water, curtains, quiet cloudlight, and the patient warmth of the inn gathered around the walls. The bedside lantern is the smallest lantern you've seen tonight. It is not meant to guide anyone along a road or mark a porch in the mist. It is only for this room, this table, this lowered hour. Its glass is rounded at the corners and faintly amber near the base. Inside, the light is steady and enclosed, gentle enough that you can look at it without narrowing your eyes. The lantern sits on a square of folded cloth. Beside it is a cup of water, clear and still. Beside the cup is a smooth stone, pale grey, placed there for no reason, except the pleasure of seeing something simple and round before sleep. A little dish waits nearby, empty and useful. You sit on the edge of the bed. The mattress gives softly. The green blanket lies at your feet. The pillow waits near the cloudlit window. The curtains make two quiet, vertical lines. Like the sides of a page you do not have to read. The lantern light touches your hand. It touches the cup. It touches the stone. Then stops. Beyond that small circle, the room is blue and dim, shaped by cloudlight rather than detail. The hallway outside is silent. The lobby is far away now. The tea room, balcony, attic, and a porch have become gentle rooms in memory. Each one still glowing somewhere in the inn. You do not have to visit them again. The bedside lantern can hold them all in its small warmth. Road, porch, lobby, tea, balcony, attic, hall, room, all gathered into one soft light beside the bed. The cloudlight outside the window is neither night nor morning. It is a soft in-between, blue, slow, and even, with faint silver moving through it whenever the mist changes shape. You can see it from the bed without lifting your head very much. The window is wide, but the curtains make it feel sheltered. The glass has a few tiny beads of moisture along the lower edge, each one holding a miniature version of the lantern beside you. The clouds do not rush. They fold, they loosen, they fold again. Somewhere within them, far from the room, a lantern drifts past and turns the mist briefly warm. Then it is gone, or perhaps only hidden, and the blue returns. You pull the quilt a little higher. The fabric settles with a soft weight. The pillow cools your cheek. The room gives a small wooden sigh as the inn adjusts itself for the deep part of the night. No one walks quickly in the hallway. No bell rings. No door closes hard. The inn is beyond all that now. It is only warmth held in wood, quiet held in cloth, light held in glass, and clouds held outside the window. Your breathing can be ordinary now. No need to count it. No need to change it. The cloudlight will keep moving at its own slow pace. The bedside lantern will pisk its small circle. The blanket will keep its warmth. The room will keep its shape around you, even if the details begin to soften. Blue outside, amber inside, a bed between them, a road far behind, a quiet inn above the clouds, still holding its lamps. Now you do not need to walk anymore. The inn can continue its quiet work without your footsteps. Somewhere below, the lobby lamp lowers a shade. The silent bell keeps a small amber reflection on its brass dome. The chairs remain around the warm stone hearth, each one with its blanket folded over the back. The tea room keeps its curved windows, its jars, its kettle, its deep seats facing the cloud. The balcony holds its high, smooth rail. The lanterns drift past it, one by one, not counted, not named, not followed. The attic holds its shelves of blankets and spare lantern glass. The map on the low table keeps its soft lines under 4 smooth stones. The linen cupboard stays half open at the bend in the hall, letting the clean scent of cloth and lavender rest in the wood. All of these rooms remain peaceful after your attention leaves them. That is one of the kindest things about a place made for sleep. You do not have to hold it together. The porch. The porch remains dry. The road remains wide. The lanterns remain steady. The mist remains soft. You can let the whole inn become simpler now. A warm building, a quiet room, a low lamp, a bed, and clouds moving beyond the glass. The story does not need to explain itself now. It can become texture. Wool, wood, mist, glass, tea, lantern light. A soft runner under silent halls, a blanket folded once at the foot of the bed. And you, resting inside the warmth, while the inn settles around you like another layer of quilt. Only a few lamps are left glowing now, one on the porch, so the road remembers where the door is, one in the lobby, so the blankets keep their soft colors, one in the tea room, so the curved windows do not become only blue, one in the attic, where the green blanket came from, resting now in the room with you, and the small lantern beside the bed. These lights do not compete with the night. They belong to it. They make the dark gentle by giving it warm edges. They let the corners blur without becoming strange. They let the cloud outside remain cloud, the room remain room, the inn remain inn. If your eyes close, you may still know where each lamp is. Porch, lobby, tea room, attic, bedside. The order can repeat once, then become softer. Porch, lobby, tea room, attic, bedside, road, blanket, cup, shelf, pillow, mist, wool, steam, cedar, cloudlight. The words do not need to stay separate. They can fold into one another the way clouds fold outside the window. They can become a warm blur of place and comfort. They can become the feeling of arriving, being received, being shown through quiet rooms, and then being left in peace. The bedside lantern lowers in your mind, though its light remains steady on the table. The cloudlight cools the edge of the curtain. The quilt holds the body's warmth. The inn holds the room holds the bed. The bed asks for nothing at all. The road above the clouds is still there, though you no longer need to follow it. It curves away from the porch in a pale line, wide and safe, under the moon-blue sky. The lanterns along it are steady, each one making a little pool of amber in the mist. If another tired traveler came along the road much later, the lights would be there for them. Anyone would be there for them too. The bench would be dry, the door would be warm, the slippers would wait beneath the entry bench. What? That thought can remain far away. You are already inside. You are already past the porch, past the lobby, past the tea room windows, and the balcony lanterns, past the attic shelves, and the final hall. The road has done its gentle work and can rest outside the story now. Perhaps the clouds cover it for a while. Perhaps the lanterns become only soft circles with no posts beneath them, but perhaps the inn itself seems to float more quietly, no longer needing a visible road at all. Dream places can change like that. A hallway can become a blanket. A lantern can become a star. A window can become a cup of blue light. A bed can become the whole room, and the whole room can become only warmth, cloth, breath, and the quiet presence of clouds. Nothing has to be exact. Now, the inn is still kind, even when its edges soften. The lanterns are still glowing, even when they are not counted. The tea is still warm in memory. The blanket is still enough. And the road, far outside the window of thought, remains pale and patient above the sleeping clouds. The story can be very small now. Only the room, only the quilt, only the lantern beside the bed, and the cloudlight beyond the window. You do not need to return through the last hall, past the attic stair, through the tea room, across the lobby, onto the porch, and out along the road. The inn can remember the way for you. It knows every quiet part of itself. It knows the dry porch boards. It knows the silent bell. It knows the chairs with blankets folded over their backs. It knows the half-circle tea room, the window seats, the balcony rail, the floating lanterns, the attic shelves, the spare glass, the map under smooth stones. It knows this room, you as well, the low lamp, the cup of water, the pale stone, the blue curtains, the bed beneath the window. All of it can stay where it is while you rest. If a lantern drifts outside, it drifts gently. If mist gathers at the glass, it gathers slowly. If the lower world receives rain, the sound stays far below, softened into a hush. The inn does not close all the way. It remains half-lit, somewhere above the clouds, warm inside, blue outside, with a few lamps still glowing for no urgent reason. Here, in the room at the end of the hall, the final image can stay simple. A quiet bed, a softened window, a small lantern, a folded blanket, and the cloud. Lantern, inn, holding the night around you without a sound.